How did I get started? I mentioned before, I was kind of an introvert. I saw these people having fun out in public. You know, they could just naturally bond with other people, and I just kind of sat there and quiet. And so what does every good introvert do? Picked up books, took classes, seminars to figure out, how do I understand other people? And so the two things that really changed my life was, the first one was body language. Why? Because there are so many books on body language, it's unbelievable. I'm going to reference a few of my favorite ones today. But then in 2010, my life changed. And that is, a friend of mine came into town from Dallas. She said, hey, let's go to dinner. She was here for a trade show. I said, okay. I show up at the restaurant. She calls, says, I'm not going to make it. I'm like, okay, here we go. She goes, no, you need to come meet this guy. I go, why? I'm already at the restaurant. I ordered a drink. I'm staying. She finally convinced me to go. And it was the thing that changed my life, because I met this gentleman right here. He was my mentor, Mac. So Mac Fulfer was an attorney who learned how to read and understand people based on their facial features for jury consulting. But he ended up leaving his law practice because he realized it has real-world skill. So the ability to decode and understand people based on their facial features goes all the way back to the Greeks. Aristotle wrote a book about it. And it was actually part of the academic system until Henry VIII said, I don't like the idea that vagabonds and villains can use this against their fellow man, and he had it yanked out of the academic system. But who is it still taught to? Attorneys, authors, and artists. And we'll explain why authors and artists here in just a minute. But because this man had ruined my plans, I went to go prove he was a fraud. Because I thought, hey, I had dinner plans, he changed it, I'm going to go show. I've never heard of this. It's got to be BS. I've got books on body language, statement analysis, you name it, how to win friends and influence people, but I'd never heard of this. So I went there, arms crossed, like, I'm going to get this guy. And he immediately won me over with his gentle demeanor, but he sat us down at dinner with 8 people. And without us saying a word, he just went boom, 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 boom. He broke down everyone to a T, including me, and I was instantly hooked. And I was waiting for this, like, you know, horoscope-ish, kind of like, oh, you've had a hard time in life. Oh, you've had a hard time in life. Oh, you know somebody whose name starts with M. I was waiting for all the things I could catch him with, right? Mom, Mary, you name it. No, I'm not calling you out. That's just someone's name. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is actually pretty interesting. But I was still skeptical. And I like skeptics, but I like curious skeptics, because that's what I was. So I bought his book, and he lived in Fort Worth. So anybody familiar with Fort Worth from here? I'm not sure who else from here or not. Okay. So he did his undergrad at TCU, he did law school at UT, and then he came back and practiced law in Fort Worth. So I would drive from Dallas to Fort Worth twice a month, 45 minutes each way, to study with him in a group setting. I still carry around the book from 2010, which is falling apart, just so you guys see anyone can learn this material. But we're going to make you dangerous before you walk out today.